You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the March 11th meeting of the Michigan City Waterworks Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Call this meeting of the Water Board to order. Today is Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. First item is approval of minutes from the meeting held on February 25th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the previous meeting held February 25th, 2025.
I'll second the motion.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the minutes from the meeting of February 25th. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Purchase orders.
Before you, a list of 9 purchase orders. The first is to Robert Tillage Appliance. This is a replacement fridge for the break room at the plant for $899. The second is to Living Waters. This is a lab chlorine titrator. This was in our business plan as a capital expense for $7,392.70. The next item is to USA Blue Book. This is a traffic stop and slow paddles, flagger ahead, sign and stands. Found out we were missing several of these things that we need to have, and we had a project that we need to get done, so we went with a confirming purchase order on this for $1,666.76. The next item is to Spring Lake Sales. This is a ladder rack for truck 20. That's one of our crew trucks. That way we can put the ladder up on top and a couple of long things and get them out of the bed so we have room for other things in the bed for $700. The next item is to K&L Supply, replacement electric heaters for Hitchcock and Beverly Shores. And these are for $3,020. The old heaters are just getting worn out and need to be replaced. The next item is to Truck Centers. Truck 14 overheating coolant loss. This is confirming because we needed to tell them to go ahead. This is the small dump truck that we were having problems with. They made repairs to. It seemed to be okay, and then it broke again. And looks like what it is, it's a head gasket on the motor. So it's a pretty expensive fix, but a lot cheaper than a replacement dump truck, obviously. So this is for $5,666.13.
What year is that truck?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I believe we had about two or three more years on that truck before we were set to replace it. The next item is to Handley Industries, curb boxes and curb box top sections for $7,800. These are for stock. And then the next item is to Granger. These are replacement gas heaters for the garage over at the treatment plant. The ones that are in there are very low efficiency to a point where they actually end up showing up on a air quality report that we have to that we are responsible to supply information to. So by replacing these, it'll take us off that report. And these are $2,928.40. Then the next item is to H&G Underground. This is directional drilling along Franklin Street. This is to relocate 2 services off of the main that needs to be replaced for the Franklin Street Tower for $8,485. This will allow those customers to be in service as we replace the main on Franklin Street. And that's all purchase orders.
How many customers does that affect?
It's just 2 customers. Yeah. So we're just shooting this what we call a long straw or service manifold, 2-inch copper down, and then branching off for the 2 properties.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase orders. Second.
The motion is second that we approve the purchase orders dated March 11th. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Claims. Anybody have any questions on the claims?
I did want to mention, if you remember, we had agreed to support the city of Michigan City with the Director of Public Works. We had agreed to put in $25,000 a year towards that salary. Now that the city has hired a Director of Public Works, that's included in this list of claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the list of claims dated March 11th, 2025.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the claims dated March 11th. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bad debt list.
I'll make a motion to accept the bad debt list dated March 11th, 2025 for bookkeeping purposes only.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and second that we accept the bad debt list dated March 11th for bookkeeping purposes only. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Approval to develop a reimbursement agreement for MDOT and the rest area extension.
So as you probably remember, a few meetings back, actually on the January 28th meeting, because of the significant increase in the labor, anticipated labor expense for this water main extension out to the NDOT travel rest area that's out on 94. We were looking at a significant hit against our financial position, and the board did recommend to table that, to ask NDOT some information about that. After having conversation with the engineers involved, they stated that actually it's NDOT's intention to do a reimbursement agreement for basically 100% of the project, with the exception of any improvements beyond what is needed to get water out there. So the size of the main, that one has been determined by going through the hydraulic model, that's what's necessary to get out there, so it's not an upsize on the main. So basically what NDOT would like to do is get an agreement between the department and NDOT that we would go through the process of bidding this project out, getting the contractor in, having the contractor work, and then we would have to pay bills for the contractor as they're going along, but then NDOT would reimburse us. Of course, one of the concerns I do have is time frame, because this project will move quickly once the construction begins, and the pay applications from the vendor, from the contractor, will be pretty quick. Large amount of money coming out of our improvement fund, which obviously we would want to get replenished as quickly as possible. So as part of this effort to put together this reimbursement agreement, well, we're intending to get some sort of assurance from NDOT to quickly reimburse the department so that we're not out $1 million or $2 million while this project is going, and waiting for reimbursements. So basically at this point in time, I would just need to have the board's permission to have Attorney Barry McDonnell, our board attorney, work on this reimbursement agreement with NDOT and get this put together. And then once it's prepared, bring it back to you to make sure that you're okay with it and approve it, because the board would have to sign it
They'll
in
be,
that agreement.
they'll have that, up and starting to build it out, or this summer?
The construction, the actual letting of the project for, and that's the point where they tell the contractor their bid is good and to start going, isn't going to be until mid to late fall.
Oh, okay.
So that they don't anticipate actual, so that's for the building. Now, the
Yes.
water main, they hope to get that out to bid in July or August, so that part of it can get started and the water can get out there in time that when they're ready to start doing things like pouring concrete and building walls and stuff like that, that they actually have water available out at the site. So and that would be right after winter breaks next year. So.
So,
Okay, go ahead.
no, I just want to say, so we just need to approve for our lawyer to work out some kind of contract as far as payment.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second that we authorize our attorney to draw up a contract with NDOT for the water extension out to the rest area. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, next item is the Thornburg extension.
Yes. Before you, we've had a request. Gentleman, Mr. Scott Farnberg, has purchased some land that he wants to build a house on, and then he also wants to subdivide the balance of the land. And you'll see on the second page of the pack I gave you is a map that shows where this home site is in relation to the rest of our system. Now, there's two different options in extending a water main. The developer, in this case, the homeowner, the developer, has to extend a water main so that he has actual frontage across the frontage of one of the sides of his property. To the north of his, to the east of his property is Risky Avenue. And we currently have a water main that ends at Whippoorwill and Risky. Whippoorwill and Gardena line up with each other, but Gardena has never been, that segment of Gardena has not been developed. So it's an existing right-of-way. We already have water main to that right-of-way. It just never was, they never put a street in there. So option one would be to just continue the water main down Risky to the south property line of this home site. It's about 580 feet extra. That would make the water line on Risky a dead-end water main from all the way up at Killdeer all the way down to this south property line, which is around 1,600 feet. It's a pretty long dead end. And then Bruce Drive is already a dead-end water main running from Killdeer down to Gardena right away. So the other option I was looking at is running the water main east and west along the Gardena right of way and looping these two mains together in the process. So this is beneficial for us because long dead-end water lines are issues with water quality. It can be an impact with fire protection, that sort of thing. So there's a real benefit to looping water mains. And so in this particular case, there are two options to look at. Extending down Risky. The entire cost of that extension was just under $95,000. Based on the potential of 4 new customers on that run, the developer's responsibility would have been $73,224, and the department's portion would be $21,603. Again, leaving those long dead ends. On Gardena, the plan would be to extend the existing 12-inch main at White Oak and Risky across that right-of-way, tying in the main on Risky and also the main on Bruce Drive. The length of this would only be 470 feet. Now, even though it's shorter, there is a pretty sizable culvert in there. So if we have to go under it, that's probably going to be a contractor coming in to help us with that. The overall cost of that project is just a hair over $92,000. There would only be the one revenue refund because the other properties already have our water, so there's no additional new customers available. And the materials on the project are $71,418 and the labor is $20,602. So pretty close materials and labor between the two projects. What I would propose is that we quote this as a 50-50 split and run down Gardena because of the benefit that we gain by closing those loops. And then also we give the one revenue refund. So the developer's responsibility would be $44,910 and the department's would be $47,100. Most of that, we would do the majority of that labor, but we might have to get some help with getting underneath that culvert.
Where's Bruce Drive?
If you look at the map,
I'm looking.
you can see where Risky and White Oak is. It's a long cul-de-sac right in between the two.
Okay.
Traveling south from.
Yes, I see it now. I got it.
I just saw this as an opportunity to tie some things together,
I'm okay with it.
and then in the future, if he's looking to develop the land to the south of his home site, I would lean towards bringing the water main north from the main on School Spring.
And this is the opposite side of Trail Creek, correct? The other side of
Right.
Risky's Trail Creek, and this is Michigan City.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and most of the customers that are along that Risky Avenue water main are actually tied to us, even if they are on the Trail Creek side.
So you're just gonna give him a proposal, or you're gonna,
We would give, my recommendation is that we give them a proposal.
Okay.
And my recommendation is the second option, with the 50-50 split.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How long have those long dead ends been there? Got any idea?
Not that long. Actually, the homes on Bruce Drive, I believe, were built in the late 90s, early 2000s, I think. And the same with that. Risky built slowly over time as more people wanted water. It kept adding on lengthwise.
Well, I'm good with it.
Someone would like to make a motion that we accept option 2?
I'll make a motion for approval quote for the Thornburg Main extension on Risky, 50-50 split. Anything else I have to add?
And that was option 2.
Oh, option 2.
Oh, okay.
Second.
There's a motion second that we allow our superintendent to quote option number 2 for the Thornburg development. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, any old business?
Under old business, I would like to request authorization to utilize Haas and Associates to provide construction inspection for the US 20 extension. They had quoted it at their hourly rates. They sent me an estimate of their what they believe what they would spend, assuming they had to be out there 4 hours a day for the entire length of the project, which they might not be. So that being said, they put an estimate of around $48,000 on that. We're going to have a couple projects going at the same time, and I'm going to need to be able to use the gentleman that usually does our inspection internally. I'm going to need to use him on one of the other projects that's going, while this is going. So, so I'd like permission to modify the purchase order. It would be purchase order 2025-000414 with a at their hourly rate not to exceed $48,000.
Someone like to make that motion?
I just have a question here. Is it, page 3, was it at the 36,100 hourly already?
No, the 36,100 was an estimate for
Okay.
construction administration, which is
Okay.
background paperwork.
This is for a part-time inspection,
This is
correct?
actually be out on the job, monitoring what the contractor's doing, documenting the installation, tracking the information as far as all the materials that they see put in, and that way, I think this will also be beneficial because it will also allow us to better monitor what the contractor puts in their pay applications on this project as well.
Okay,
Because the construction administration would be the review of pay applications
Gotcha.
back here at the office. not-
Okay.
Not out in the field.
got it. I'll make a motion to accept the amount and estimate part-time inspection at 4 hours per day, not to exceed 48,000? Is that what it says? Because it says it's an estimate though,
It is
right?
an estimate,
Okay.
based on the length of the project. They estimate that at 4 hours per day for the length of the project, they should not exceed 48,000 in charges.
Okay,
Okay.
Obviously, if the project moves faster, or they don't have to be out there, then
okay. That's my motion.
I'll second that.
The motion and a second that we approve of purchase order amendment for inspection services not to exceed $48,000. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
thank you.
Any other old business?
I did want to let you all know that on Monday, I'll be requesting from the Board of Works authorization to do the street shutdown so we can get that water main installed over on by the Franklin Street Tower, residential tower. Then in planning that, we'll have the entire road closed. If you remember, this past fall, it was closed for some sewer work to be done for that building. It'll be basically the same thing. We'll detour folks over to Washington and back onto Franklin. And our construction crew can lay that water main in there, get the road opened back up. And the timing of this is intended so that by the time we finish laying that water main in there, we should be able to get asphalt from the asphalt plant. It should be reopened.
Okay.
Any other old business?
That's all I have for old business.
Any new business?
For new business, I'd like to ask if the board has any interest in sponsoring a table at the Mayor's Charitable Gala. Last year, I think we bought 10 tickets at $100 a piece, so that was about $1,000. This year, a table sponsorship is a table, 10 seats for $2,000. If not, if the board would rather, we just buy some seats. I'm assuming some of the board members have interest in attending. And then I'd also like to extend it to some of our employees as well. We did it last year, since it's the charitable gala, it's not it's not for re-election campaign funds or anything like that. It's something that the department could participate in. Obviously, if it was for election stuff, we wouldn't get involved because we try to stay out of the politics of things.
I'm all for, as long as we can afford it. I see nothing wrong with buying a table for 10.
I agree.
Is that what you suggested, or you said last year?
Well,
Was a table of 10?
Yeah, last year we just basically we bought 10 tickets, at whatever the price was. I don't know. I think it was $100 a piece. So if that's the board's desire to do that instead of, because sponsoring a table, obviously that's putting our name on it too, I'm assuming. If we don't want to do that and we just want to buy tickets, we can do that.
No, I think a table's good.
I like tables at those kind of events.
And the only reason I mentioned that is because buying a table is $2,000. If it's a sponsorship of a table, it's $2,000. If it's just buying tickets,
It's $1,000.
it would only be $1,000.
It'll be what?
It would only be $1,000.
That's wonderful. That's good.
But then if you do a sponsorship, your table will be reserved, correct? Whereas if you buy individual tickets,
You might end up with people split up, yeah. I suppose that's a possibility.
But you also get recognition. You put it up on the board every few minutes. I'm in favor of doing a full table of 10 big tickets. Is that everybody in the business in there?
is that a motion, Davis?
So is that to
It's a
do,
motion for that,
for what,
the table, full table sponsorship.
to do the sponsorship?
Yes,
Okay,
for $2,000.
okay.
And that's my motion.
I'll second it.
Motion and second to the water department sponsor a table at the mayor's gala for $2,000. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Any other new business?
Just wanted to give the board a heads up that, we've had we're experiencing some moving parts when it comes to personnel. I have, at the beginning of the year, we had a longtime plant employee retire, which, was planned ahead. And since then, I've received notification that another long-term employee has decided that he's going to be retiring and I think his last day is going to be at the end of May, but the last day he actually works is going to be the end of April. And we also had one of our assistant crew leads leave us to go to went to the railroad. We can't compete on the dollars with the railroad.
Yeah.
We wish him luck on that, but I just wanted to let the board know that we have these pieces moving around, but we have actually, recently we hired to fill one of our open positions, and actually, as of yesterday, we actually filled another one of our open positions at the distribution center, and next Monday we'll have our open position at the plant filled. So we're hoping that those folks work out, and we're hoping to have we've got several resumes that have come in, and we're out there trying to get more resumes on the positions. The trick is getting people that can pass the background checks and also get their CDLs for the CDL positions, because the ones that are open right now are CDL required. So that can be the tricky part, unfortunately. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up that we got a lot of personnel jockeying going on. It's
What grade is CDL, A or B or Class A?
Class A is, so if a person doesn't have one, if they don't have a Class B already, they gotta get a Class A. If they come to us with a Class B, we can accept that for a time period, but they would, to get the better pay, they would need to go to a Class A.
Okay,
I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on all that's going on.
That's good. That's good.
all right, any public comments? Director's comments? Someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn, all those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you.